What's cooking up in the kitchen? Am I smelling that soul food?
Oh yes, it is soul food, the spiritual food for your spiritual nourishment. And you know what? This food will never expire.
Never expire? I need this food every day.
You are listening to these spiritual-based podcasts. There are many podcasts, but this one here is to satisfy your soul, to feed your spiritual hunger. Are you hungry for God? Don't let your soul be hungry. No matter where you are, whatever you are doing now, at work, home, or on the go, you can still listen here and right now the Soul Food podcast. Don't let ever your soul to go hungry.
It's time for some soul food.
My father was a child of his generation.
I remember he was around, but very absent.
He was around quite a bit.
He worked really, really hard for everything that he had.
He died when I was 6 months old.
He was one of those dads that didn't express outwardly in words very much.
We never had a close relationship, never did anything together specifically.
He did a lot of things right, but we didn't realize it.
He was always a rock that we could always depend on in our household.
Growing up, I don't know, there was like a void in my life.
We would just throw the football back and forth. He would teach me how to throw a spiral. It's one of my fondest memories.
He worked almost 80 hours a week for 15 odd years. So I didn't really get to spend a whole lot of time with my dad.
I was always craving his approval.
Just he's not the most verbal person, and he's not the most social person, so...
He never said it. Always thinking that, well, because I give you the necessities of life, you should know it by osmosis.
My mother was primarily the one who gave me advice.
And I remember actually one night watching him hit my mom, and that's the last time that I really remember him being around.
And when I was 12, I found out that I was the product of an affair.
My sense of person and who I was kind of ripped away from me.
I had, I guess, anger issues when I was younger.
I never had a father, so I just kind of had to figure stuff out on my own.
I didn't realize until recently that was all rooted in my father being absent.
So I definitely believe it affected my ability to raise my children in that aspect.
When I had children, I really wanted to be a good dad.
I don't think anybody has the manual on fatherhood or really what to do.
When my son was born, I just felt afraid.
I worked hard at not disappointing them, even though I did.
Luckily, I had a very good example to follow, but so many times we get off track and we don't follow that example.
So I'm actually really excited to have kids so I can fulfill that role.
We have a wonderful family where we're really involved and communicate well with each other.
The strength lies in being transparent.
Be there, be honest, and be the type of person you would want your son to grow up to be.
It's not always being a really great provider, but it's really about spending time.
When you don't feel like doing what they want to do it anyway.
Be creative and give them a challenge.
The biggest thing I take away is being there counts.
Don't go anywhere, we will be right back, here on Soul Food.
we are talking about conversion. That's the message today. It's about conversion. How to convert? Show me your hands. So if you are a driver, you know that as you are driving, you have to make right, make left, but sometimes you have to reverse. Sometimes you have to take a U-turn. U-turn. This is what conversion is all about. You are heading north, then you make a U-turn to go back to south. This is what conversion is all about. As it says, to convert means to change from one form of function to another, like a U-turn. It's when you have to make a U-turn. When you, it's 180 degree. 180, not 360. 360, you're going to go to the same place. But 180 is to change from one form to another. This is what conversion is all about. So, to convert means to change from one form, one manner, one behavior or function to another. Now let us read Ephesians chapter 4, there on verse 25. How to convert? He says, therefore, putting away lying, let each one of you speak truth with his neighbor. For we are members of one another. Let me tell you something. Putting away lies. Putting away lies. This is the word. To put away. Where should I show it? Right here? Okay, right here. So putting away lies. This is to convert. Some people have this addiction. The addiction of lies. They became professional liars. They even lie to themselves. Sometimes they ask, is it true what I'm saying or not? They get confused. Because lies became his first tool. But to convert, you say to yourself, I'm not a liar. I'm a child of God. I'm going to put away this lie. There is no good lie. There is no good reasons to lie. Or have to lie because, no, there is no good reasons to lie. No excuses. I'm lying to defend somebody, no excuses. Lie takes the soul to hell. And then he said, speak the truth. Speak the truth. When he says, speak the truth with your neighbor, this neighbor, who is this neighbor? Let me ask you right now, who is this neighbor? This neighbor here, who is this neighbor? Who is this neighbor? This neighbor is your husband, your wife, your mother, your father, your boss, your children, your parents. Not just the neighbor next door, but somebody that is closer to you. This is how to convert. You put away lies and now you speak the truth. Let us read here. He says more. Be angry and do not sin. Do not let the sun go down on your wrath, nor give place to the devil. He said, be angry. That's no problem to be angry. I don't mean to be an angry bird. You cannot be the angry bird. But you can be angry because you are human. How do you feel when you face injustice? When somebody lie on you, when somebody badmouth you, when somebody creates stories, when somebody destroys your reputation. How do you feel? Angry. You feel angry. Angry. Well, let me tell you something. He said, in your anger, do not sin. Do not burst. Do not explode. People, when they are angry, they curse. they beat, they are violent, they abuse others. When you are driving, Satan uses these people to cut you off. Reckless drive. You have your family there. So how do you get? You get angry. You get angry. However, when you have the Holy Spirit, even though you are angry, you do not sin. Even though you are angry, you do not sin. When it says, give no place to the devil, what does it mean? Give place to the devil. Give no place to the devil. Do not give place to the devil. Because if you give place to the devil, he takes that opportunity and he destroys you. He takes that opportunity to destroy your life. Do not give grounds, opportunities, place to the devil. Do not open your life to Satan. Don't do that. Let us read the next here. Let him who stole steal no longer, but rather let him labor, working with his hand what is good, that he may have something to give him who has need. Let no corruption word proceed out of your mouth, but what is good for necessary edification, that it may impact grace to the hearers. Well, let no corrupt word come out of your mouth. What's a corrupt word? Now the key word is this. Let no corrupt words proceed. We spoke about lies, but these corrupt words can be to bad mouth. Corrupt words can be gossip. Corrupt words can be curses. A person that curses is using the words, the vocabulary of Satan. Because when you curse, there is no good cursing. When you curse, you are cursed to offend, right? To offend somebody. But why do you curse? Because you are empty inside. You curse because you are empty. You curse because you don't know what to say. You curse because you don't know to make a good point. That's why you curse. But when you are in spirit, even though you are angry, even though people pick on you, even though people curse you, you don't curse back. Co-workers, family members, they curse you, you don't curse back. Why not? Because you are in spirit. You are not giving no place to the devil. Because when you curse, you open the door of your life, the gateway for Satan to enter. When you curse, you are calling demons to your life. Don't curse. Don't curse. The word curses. The curses annoys our ears. When you worship God, you make him happy. Our worship is God's food. It is God's food. But when you curse, you worship the devil. Don't let your lips worship the devil. Make a vow today. I want to convert. I shall never again use these words. Don't open your life. Don't open your soul for Satan to enter. Satan just needs a gap. He just needs a gap to go through and to destroy your life. And to conclude, it says, and do not grieve the Holy Spirit of God. Do not grieve the Holy Spirit of God, by whom you were sealed for the day of redemption. Do not grieve the Spirit of God. This is the key word. Do not grieve the Holy Spirit of God. Because when you grieve him, he lives he departs from you, and the demons come. The demons come 7 times more. The demons come 7 times worse. And they enter to kill, to steal, and to destroy. Remember, to convert means to change from one form of function to another. That's why people are in and out of prison, of jail. They leave prison, they go back to prison. Why? Because these people do not have, they do not have, they never convert. They never convert. They don't change their behavior, their character, and they go back to prison. The reason why people relapse, the reason why people go the same things again and again, it's because they are really far from the Lord.
We'll be right back here on Soul Food Podcast with a real life story.
Life before Jesus, I would probably say that in maybe 2 words, I would say not Jesus. I say that because growing up in Washington, D.C., the neighborhood, it was called Paradise, right? Funny name to name a project neighborhood called Paradise. Growing up in that neighborhood, you have a lot of crime, violence, drugs, no gangs. Like in D.C., it's more like neighborhoods. So like whatever neighborhood or street you was from, that was kind of like your thing, what you represented. But it still come with the same, nonsense, the same drama, the same vicious mentality, crabs in a basket, right? I had my mom, my dad, my 2 sisters, and we actually went to church though. But it's funny, the reason why I say like not Jesus, because we went to church, but I knew nothing about Jesus, like nothing. My mom played Kirk Franklin a lot. And it was weird because I remember one time he had this nice song and I liked it a lot, that when I was like preparing drugs and stuff to sell on the corners, I was like, I want to hear that song. So I was like bagging drugs to Kirk Franklin. So it was really confusing to know, like, okay, my parents are in church. We're going to church as a young age, but I don't know what to do with this life. I didn't even consider it a lifestyle. It was just like, you go to church. Church is in your neighborhood, right? This is where people go when they want to feel better and get ready for the week. That's what I thought church was. I didn't have a desire for God, a desire for church. I didn't have a desire for anything spiritual. All I knew was when I come outside, it's hundreds of people in my neighborhood. Because I'm from a projects. The difference between projects and different streets is that you have even gates that surround you, that enclose you in, right? Or there's different buildings that make up like one neighborhood. So it's not like streets with cars passing by. It's like everybody that lives here, come outside. So it can be 200 people outside at one given time. So I knew when I come outside, that's what I see. I see money. I see nice cars. I see clothes, fancy clothes. I also see just the people, quote unquote, loving each other and being family. Because in my house, the structure for family wasn't as strong as now I know it could have been, right? So when I go outside, they happy to see you outside. It's nothing like being in the house, getting ready, like maybe brushing your teeth, and then you get a knock on the door. And it's your friends like, you coming outside? They already beat you outside. Like, that feels good. That somebody want to hang with you, right? That's what I kind of gravitated to. Because in my house, we had struggles. My dad was the only one working. My mom has complications, right? So she couldn't work a lot. She's have hearing complications, so she couldn't get certain jobs. Me and my sisters, we're around the same age. We're young, so of course we're not working. My dad was struggling. It was a lot. I actually look back now and I honor him for the hard work that he had to put in. But back then as a kid, you just look at it like you don't have nothing. And you look at your parents like they're not doing anything for you. You see other kids and we all live in the same community, right? But why do they have and I don't have? So in my house, nobody really cared for each other that much or showed that they did, right? It was always about my dad trying to survive, my mom trying to be content with her situation, my sisters trying to make it out here as females, and me, now I'm in the streets. And that's how I lived my life growing up. I began, doing street things around 12 years old. I started selling drugs at 12. I remember a time when I went to someone's house and he literally sold the drugs to me at 12 and thought nothing of it. And from that day moving forward, I was a drug dealer. And people would literally buy drugs from me. Adults, people, moms. It was some of my friends' parents who would buy drugs from me. Some of them knew, some of them didn't know. So when that would happen, I didn't feel like power, but I felt like, man, I can take this and build upon it and have something of my own. Because when you grow up in an environment that's like kind of rocky and shaky, you want something for yourself. You want something you can call your own. You want something that nobody can take from you, that you can make for yourself and survive. So I thought that being a drug dealer, right, was like I was gonna make a name for myself. Because in DC, you got all these big drug dealers, right? I mean, you can turn on YouTube and just type in drug dealers from DC and you'd see all types of drug dealers. And I thought in my mind that one day I will be someone that somebody look up to or look up and see his lifestyle. Because that's how I felt. It's weird when you can feel like you're good at doing something bad. Like you're good at it. And lo and behold, living that lifestyle for what I would say from 12 to 22, 10 years straight, it caught up to me, right? I tried to do as much as I can to make a name for myself. I had all of my friends. I literally taught them like how to sell drugs, right? I remember one time I went to my best friend's window. He lived on the first floor and I had to like reach my hand up through the like black gate on the window because it's like got black gates on it because in the projects and when you're in a bad neighborhood, those gates are there because like you're in a bad neighborhood and somebody can just climb in through your window, right? So they put those black steel gates around your window. So I had to stick my hand through there and kind of tap on his window. And I was like, hey, you trying to make some money? I'm selling drugs now, like come with me. And I brought him on a team and all my other friends and we selling drugs. But with selling drugs, you gotta now protect what's yours because you got other people that don't like what you're doing. You got other people that's looking at you, seeing you one way down, and now you got money and they wanna take what you have. So we had to start carrying guns. So I was carrying a gun from 12 years old. A 12-year-old carrying a gun around. I'm sneaking guns in school. I'm riding with guns on the bus. Like at 12 years old. I can't imagine now at 12, like seeing a 12-year-old walking and seeing him and he has a gun on him. I couldn't imagine that, but that's what I was doing, trying to protect what was mine. And when you're carrying guns, you even get locked up with it or you have to use it. And in my case, it was a situation where I used it. I used the gun to take somebody's life at 22 years old. I look back now and I regret that situation. With everything that I have in me. I see so many ways it could have went, but it happened. I understand now that everybody has a decision to make. You're not forced to do anything. In those times and in those moments where you feel like, I just have to do this. I wish somebody would have told me, no, you don't. No, you don't. There's always options, right? There's always options. Depending on your environment, it'll speak to you and tell you like how to think, how to react. And back then I didn't choose the right environment to be around and it led me to taking someone's life. I remember a time when I was locked up and I was talking about my situation to someone, and they looked at me and said, "That's not normal." And I thought that was a weird response to me telling them my story. I was like, "What do you mean that's not normal?" He was like, "You're telling it as if like you had to do it, like it's normal, like it's the normal reaction to something." And it was like, people just don't walk around with guns. That's not a normal thing to do.
Wow.
And it hit me. And I was like, it's not the norm. It kind of woke me up in that moment. But now I'm locked up and I'm faced with a life sentence for first-degree murder. And I'm sitting in that cell, man, and reality struck. As soon as those mechanical doors started moving by themselves, and it's making like a clanging sound, like cling, 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 and then it go boom, it slams to let you know that you can't pry this open, you can't wiggle your way out of this, you're here. And I was sitting there like, wow, I'm here. I'm faced with a decision in my life where I thought I was taking control. Now I don't have no control. No control of my life. I thought that the thing that I was doing with my life was what needed to be done, but now I'm here facing my life and I don't have no control.
Stay tuned tomorrow for more of Reynard's story. Keep your notifications on so you don't miss the next episode. And make sure to share with your friends and family.
Than I am right now. Wasn't holding you up, so there's nothing I could do to let you down. It doesn't take a trophy to make you proud. I'll never be more loved than I am right now. I don't wanna forget how I feel right now. On the mountaintop, I can see so clear what it's all about. Stay by my side when the sun goes down. Don't wanna forget how I feel right now. Oh, Jireh, you are enough.
Thank you for listening in. That's all the soul food we have to share today. Stay tuned for the next episode on Soul Food and keep your notifications on. Share this episode with your friends and family to feed their souls. Give the food that lasts forever.